No, no one. Mm-mm-mm.
We are live. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, I believe we're up and running. Let some people wander on in here. Ooh, what a day already. Ooh, this might be just another little consolidation phase for a leg up. Shall see. Some people flowing in.
Hmm.
How's everyone's day going so far?
Well,
Pretty amazing, huh?
Just gonna say, Mullen's definitely a bright piece of the day.
it's very celebratory to St. Patty's Day with all the green floating around.
Yes,
It's
this
very
is if
symbolic,
you're
though.
Irish, yeah. Hats off to you. Here's your green for the day.
Indeed. What are we up now? It's 43% and running since this morning. Good lord.
Hello, devils.
All of our fellow denizens of hell, welcome to the party, the MULN party.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And for those of you joining us who are not part of the Discord yet, we know it's Mullen. We know it's not the Disney movie, but we love to give cheeky little nicknames to our favorite tickers, and well, that stuck.
Oh
Just
yeah.
fits too well.
We call it Mullen or Mulan over here.
See, we can't even say it wrong, right, wrong.
Yeah.
Well, to everyone stepping in here, we're pushing about 100 viewers here already. Mullen is obviously having quite a good day. We're up 42%, and we are fighting to keep the 250 level alive, which has a lot of open interest on the options chain expiring tomorrow. So this is going to be an interesting last 2 hours of the day and an interesting end to the week, to say the least.
It's been very interesting. I've been noticing pattern after pattern of them creating these upward channels, doing their classic. Hey, we're going to build up, consolidate, and try to drop it down, and it is not dropping down very far.
No, not really. And even as we went live, we started seeing a little bit of selling pressure. But I mean, when you kind of zoom out a little bit, you're like, yeah, that's not too bad, all things considered. You know, it's had quite a strong run so far. So I think we're about 210. So we got a little time till power hour. But yeah, I think we're hopefully going to see a strong close.
While we do have a little bit of a breather, if anybody in the YouTube chat is making money right now, feel free to smash the like button. We'd love to just see how many of you are making money, because we are. We're
Hell yeah.
excited.
Throw it up in chat, all
Hell
the thumbs
yeah.
up and everything.
There's Boule.
Mr. Boo Boo Boole.
Smashed.
And
Dang,
we
that
are
was a smash.
smashed.
That's really cool when you do that and they actually smash it. Wow, that's really cool.
The power, the
Kind of makes
ultimate
me nervous now.
power.
Wow.
Mm-mm-mm. Alright, looks like we're kind of doing the same thing, coming up, retesting, kind of finding support a little bit, hopefully right at this level. Shall
All right,
see.
69 likes. Nobody else smash it. Damn it.
Alright, someone
And
must
it's gone.
unsmash.
Is that a bad one? Oh, I get it. Never mind. I thought we were talking about something else. Hi, Scrap Queen.
How's it going, Scrat?
Dang. Up 32,000. Let's go.
Yes, someone brought up the 1 second candles to me earlier, and I was like, I'm so glad I don't even have access to those. Realize how much that would hurt your heart. Yeah, no way.
Watching the tick looks like watching tracer fire. It's just shares going all over the place. You know what it looks like? It looks like the so Nerf really outdone themselves with their Star Wars line. Let me tell you, they have little LED black lights in the barrels and glow in the dark Nerf darts. Glow in the dark Nerf darts. So when you fire them, they glow. So you get tracer fire, rapid fire Nerf darts.
Ew.
That is a thing.
That's serious.
Did you get that for your kids?
Yes, I got that for my kids. Totally for my kids.
Oh my. Taking a little bit of a breather here. I'm just excited for Power Hour and to see After Hours today as well, because that seems to be when it makes its major moves.
Will you pull up Ortex numbers on it?
Actually, I don't have my login handy.
You don't
If
have.
someone has the Ortex date, I'll throw it up here.
I got you.
I'll say the level 2s are quite packed. The buy side is heavy. People are waiting for like the retracement, but seems like they're having to move those buys up a little bit to get fills.
All right. Ortex data is in the live stream chat.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So it looks like shortage change of about 2.15%. Return, they borrowed about 488,000, returned about 900,000. So not a huge change as of recent. Let's see, last previous reported short interest, 1.93 million. Cost of borrow is 12.9%. Short interest 4.3. Yeah, I don't think that's too much of a change from what it was last time we checked, I believe.
Oh, this is great. So we're seeing it take a breather. It fell south out of the channel, which they do. But man, if it didn't bounce directly off of 244, which is the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement from the low of the day, and we're looking good.
Yeah, that RSI had been super oversold and just touched the bottom and then bounced right there. So I'm really looking for that as well. I mean, it's held every previous level for the most part. Now it's just gonna hopefully do the same thing and just kind of come out and break this kind of downtrend it's got going on here. This line's a little wonky, but get the idea. And then this level 255, it seems to hover around with a lot of supply being exchanged. What's going on in chat? Hi, Freddie.
$169 people watching now. Oh, son of a gun. As soon as you call it out.
I wonder how far they're going to retrace this. There is a lot of A lot of sitting orders a little bit towards the, looks like people are trying to pick up some at 230. What looks like some of these people are aiming for. So let's hold that last moving average. Hold on to it.
He's trying real hard.
So the party's in here, huh?
There he is.
That's where we came, my guy. How's it going?
I was just trying to get everybody to come in. There was a few people I seen come in here. I'll just post it up over there. Some people who probably didn't get the memo.
Join the party.
Back down there here in a little bit.
The Cool Kids Club.
Usually get active, but he's still down there. Do this.
I just can't get over that thumbnail. Cootery, thank you very much for your intensive thumbnail creativity.
Trying to take a breather or a hit. What would y'all call that?
I would call this a breather. I mean, we got to keep in mind this thing has been just chewing straight up under incredible volume. So it's going to need to relax and take a breath. And what they've been doing a lot with not just this play, but with a lot of plays across the market that are, getting pumped by retail. They are definitely trying to use some recognizable patterns and signals and stuff to scare people and shake people out. But when you zoom out, it's pretty lovely.
Yeah, really. I mean, that when you kind of look at that 2 hour here, I mean, look at that.
It's kind of like, dear God.
It's beautiful. Like, I mean, it definitely, it had this major sell, of course. It finally had, what did we catch it at? Or it was like 60 cents when TD picked it up. And ever since then, it's reverse trend completely, followed the, yeah, and just kind of broke through and obeyed all of the previous resistances and supports. And I mean, it popping past this 255 that's marked out up here, didn't quite get it, but I mean, if it could base and then just turn right around and rip through it, yeah, this could definitely move a significant amount pretty soon, I would hope.
When in doubt, zoom out.
Yep, indeed. Now we're even shaping up to maybe push through some of these moving averages again. Might have found some support at 240. Let's see if it's confirmed.
Just trying to give all the new people some insight on how it works. Because I'll be seeing moves like that. They're like, "Oh my God, it's tanking! Tanking!"
Oh, and they count on it, man. They know that and they count on it. We're dealing with trading patterns and other stuff that traditionally back in the day you didn't really learn or dip into for a while, and that's only if you are a very serious trader. So you have a very small percentage of people even bothered. Now we've got this huge community that's rushed to seeing what the market is about, and we have people catching up very quickly. Well, market makers and hedge funds want to take advantage of that to their advantage and let you think you know more than you know and play it against you to crush your hopes and dreams.
And especially when it comes to like, quote unquote, like squeezes or, news related things where it gets halted or anything where it's that violent, like when it's like, quote unquote, crashing or sinking, like, like it's a very different look than just like a stair step down sell off, like it coming down and spiking 10-20% and getting halted, like that's like a crash, you know, selling off. It's just part of nature. Has to happen. Circle of
Exactly.
life. Lion King. Michael
We were
Scott.
talking about this earlier in the chat. Like, yeah, people are messy. We're emotional, habitual creatures. As much as we appreciate, love, and admire logic and rationality, we are not that. So when we see these patterns play out perfectly, well, there's a good chance they might not be people. That might be a computer pretending to be people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of those algorithmic traders and hedge funds and the people who are doing it more of on a ones and zeros type of basis are obviously, like we always talk about, the ones moving those massive portions. So they're going to show up a lot more distinctively. And
We are the
can
grease
perform.
that greases the
Yeah,
wheels.
I like your analogy on that for sure. It's very, very apt, I feel like, because it's not like there's no impact, but it's just not like comparable in that way.
Feels like it, man. After my first year of trading, I feel like I've been in the car for too long.
Yeah, right.
They needed to change me out of there for a while because I've been through it, man.
Yeah, it's definitely been, especially this past year and change, has been. I know we hear the word unprecedented a lot. Like, yeah, it's just that I feel like new territory for not only newer traders but even seasoned traders. I feel like they're like, yeah, this is this is definitely abnormal.
It's
Like we haven't seen this.
it's so much to bite off and chew. You have to learn how. I mean, the market's already incredibly complicated as it was. You had to learn how it's supposed to be so that you could then start to pull apart how messed up it actually had become.
Right.
All while trying to like manage a portfolio.
Yeah, that's 100% true. It's a constantly changing beast, and I think especially since they have, I use the term "they" kind of broadly, like all the, you know, hedge funds, market, all that kind of stuff. I think when retail kind of did start to, as you say, like do these patterns that weren't really general knowledge and like do it on a larger scale, they probably started to kind of tweak their methods a little bit. And I think we're seeing some of that as well, like maybe not making certain things quite as obvious, but
We're playing chess. They're going to try to get a step ahead, and we're going to have to try to get two steps ahead of them.
all right, come on, let's confirm the reversal.
Yeah, look at that.
Come
All
on,
right.
come on.
All right.
They do not want this above 250. I have a feeling like we're gonna see obviously a fight all day. We might see some nice runs in power hour, whatever. But like that after hours, that's gonna be that real,
It's going to be a fight.
because that's like I love the when squeeze potentials are leading into after hours and pre-market, because you can't be halted in after. So I mean when it runs, it's unfettered.
You know, and that's one thing that I'm kind of glad today, that we've had a nice, slow, steady climb all day long. No halts, nothing to spook anybody out either way. It's just been nice, slow, and steady. Higher highs, higher lows.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people kind of forget that. I mean, one of the craziest squeezes aside from GameStop, which was AMC happening that huge day that we had, was pretty much just slow and steady all day. I just remember being in disbelief every time it would just break a new high, break a new high. But I think it maybe got halted like maybe like once or twice, maybe. Like it didn't get halted like 6, 7 times and get like 10 minute, 15 minute. Like it just was slow buying all day. And then after hours, I think obviously it peaked up to its current high. Just toying around in this range. Keeps getting rejected off this moving average. Let's go.
Learner asked, do market makers trade after hours? Well, think of it this way. Market makers are trading whenever trading happens. They are the ones who are providing the liquidity to the markets and pairing up and making those trades happen. And different brokerages have different hours of availability to trade. A lot of people are surprised to find that there are actually more hours to the market than they ever quite realized. Now, the dangerous thing about after hours, too, though, is the volatility can be pretty crazy. You don't have the same amount of liquidity floating around in there. There's nobody actively necessarily trying to match up those orders. So, yes, market makers can trade after hours, but are they going over and trying to make liquidity in the markets like they are doing during the lit market during trading hours? No. So that's where you got to be careful, because they might be scooping up shares to loan out or to fill up their inventory. They might be buying back shares that they desperately needed. They might be selling shares that they no longer need and see an opportunity to offload without moving the market too much. So there are all sorts of different possibilities that could come into play there.
And someone commented in YouTube chat that we were having some audio issues. Is everything sounding okay now? Or someone said that it was kind of quiet coming through for someone.
And I was talking, so we know it's not quiet.
Seems fine. The speaker now is a little low. Okay, so I guess that's me. Testing. Let me turn this up a little bit. Hopefully that is a little bit better. Cool. All right, we're up to 270 peeps in here. Thank you everyone for coming to hang out during RipFest 2022.
I love it.
We'll come up with a good name for it. Come on, buddy. You're just playing around in this little range here. It's so funny because we were prepping for a stream and we were just screaming this whole time for all this green coming up, and then we started the stream and now we're just kind of chopping. We're like, all right, drink your water. We're about to get out and tick back up the roller coaster again. Like we're prepping up. Everyone's sweaty.
This is good, though. It's consolidating. I expect to see some push down. I expect to see some bouncing around, some fight, because this is, even though it's easy to look at it on just the daily chart, it's a bigger move overall. And the bigger a breather we have and the more it kind of retraces, the more ammo it's got to push back up. And as long as we are having higher lows, as our buddy Matt would always say, the trend is your friend.
Indeed. Yeah, I keep trying to push it down.
Ooh,
but Mullen's not having it.
This is kind of cool, though. It didn't quite fill out the shoulder. If this reverts slowly enough or quickly enough, either way, I'll take either. Could turn into a nice little bull flag.
Just cranked up the decibel levels a bit. Hopefully that helps. Good re-entry. Honestly, man, it's kind of hard to say. This one's kind of a risk from the get-go. Even if you bought it a couple weeks ago, it was risky. I mean, it kind of has been doing this pattern all day. You know, crazy runs followed by a little bit of a sell, crazy run, a little bit of a sell, crazy run, a little bit of a sell, double bottom. We might see it turn around here, but yeah, at your own risk, of course. But it looking pretty froggy to me. And is it going to retest for this 75,000 time on this moving average? I think it is. DC up over 100%. Oh, that's awesome, man. True Demon is not here right this second. He's coming in for Power Hour, but I will definitely pass on your thanks to him.
Oh, this is looking really strong. I like it.
It is, it is. The fact that it got pushed down on that one candle and was able to just like soak it right back up is bolstered my confidence a little bit, because usually if it, you see those breakdowns, it's a little bit of panic sell, a little bit of this algorithms, whatever, but it just popped right back up, so that's good.
Yeah, if you go to the 5 and spread it out, you can see it's forming a nice. It's flipped into a bullish channel down, and we also have higher lows, and so it created essentially a nice little bull pennant.
Ooh, that's looking quite pretty.
I like it.
Ooh, yeah. Actually, this might be a little higher. Yeah, I like that. Let's get it. All right, we're back over that moving average it was fighting, or at least on the 1 minute. Let's see if we can hold that.
Now it's always tough. It's always tough when you have big volatile plays like this, and especially when you're up 41% on the day. So it's always good to keep in mind your surroundings. If you're in a quiet field versus standing in the middle of this busy intersection, I like to see confirmation of the breakout. I like to see a little confirmation. I like to see a couple of candles. It might not matter in a play like this because of the volatility.
Ooh, 250. We're back at 250.
It might just say, "Okay, now." This is the push that we want to see it break above.
Ooh, yeah, we're back at it. Let's go. All right, we're ready for the. All right, now we're ticking back up the roller coaster.
I want to see it break past this shoulder. And I want to see it above 260.
Let us go.
As this is happening, Progenity is catching a bid.
Oh, really now? Ooh, it is. Up to $1.30. Look at you, Prog. Ooh. See, we started paying attention to Mullen and Prog got jealous. You guys, I'm still a squeeze. I can still squeeze. He was mad.
Over here.
Forgot about me. Mullen, come on, boy. Tapped off the moving average, push through. George W, yeah, definitely looks like a George W, almost perfectly textbook. This one just made a slight higher low, and obviously this one made a slight lower low for a moment, but yeah, pretty much. W.
We see the level 2, but I can only imagine what the actual how many shares are actually parked on the exchanges at these levels.
Yeah, It's probably
Every
just
time
insane.
Verde or Dave posts a screenshot of one of those things in comparison to what we get to see, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's definitely like a perfect iceberg analogy. Like, it's nuts. Where do you buy your calls? I think everyone uses something a little different in Hell's Trading Floor. I use Webull. I used to use Robinhood. I mess around with Fidelity a little bit. I know some people use Interactive Brokers. Yeah, I mean, there's a plethora of different options platforms out there. Just kind of is whatever is best for you. Volume so far today. What up, Vinny? Volume so far today is 427 million and counting. You know, no big deal.
A light day.
Yeah, and that's Bob Vance Faster. Nice. Yeah, Fidelity is definitely you can do a lot more and have a lot more control, like where your order is routed. Obviously, with the whole, if everyone remembers the whole dark pool thing and different exchanges and all that kind of stuff, so you have a lot more options there, and you do get better execution. But like Mr. Vance mentioned, it is not free. And then of course there's the argument of like Webull making money other ways, and all the other platforms that use payment for order flow, yada yada, all that jazz. So a couple considerations to make for sure. See it pushing below 250. No way to know, man. We're kind of battling that level right now. Um, we shall see. I hope not, because that that would probably indicate a pretty strong bullish run after such a crazy green streak it's had. If it's able to hold that price level, along with a lot of options expiring in the money at that point tomorrow, that'll be very interesting.
Not only a lot of options, but to remind everybody, tomorrow is quadruple witching.
Forgot
It's
about
gonna be crazy.
stay outside this
Yeah,
little.
you think the market looked broken before. Actually, good case in point. If tomorrow the market looks really super, super scary normal, then you know it's completely gone.
uh, Quadruple witching is something that happens. I think it's what is just a few different times a year where you have multiple different types of options contracts expiring on the same day, being I believe like weeklies, monthlies, and or I'm
Futures.
sorry, futures. Yeah, future contracts.
Yeah, it's all of them fail. It happens 4 times a year. It's the fourth Friday or the third Friday of March. What is it? March, July, October, December.
Yeah, and in the words of Matt Kors, it doesn't indicate any particular direction. It just means that we're more than likely going to see higher volatility, just because people are going to be making a lot of decisions because they're forced to, because contractually their positions are expiring, so they either have to sell them and roll them, they have to exercise, or it's kind of at a loss. So there's just a lot of different moves being made, a lot of money flowing around. So
Ooh, Doge just asked, "What the f are futures?" This I always love to refer to a delightful film. Eddie Murphy, back in the day, one of his finest. Trading places, man. They got those greedy SOBs because they tricked them into buying or selling out of orange juice futures.
Ooh, baby. Oh, 255. That is a big candle. Big candle. Let's go.
That
Right
was a
over
big
that
candle.
mute
That's
average.
what we
Come
will
on.
see.
Go.
There we go. There we go.
Hold
Let's get it.
above
Let's
this
get
bit.
it. How much volume was on that? Let's see. Wasn't even a
Yeah, so
lot comparatively. Damn, that was a big candle. Though. Let's
futures
go.
are the big world indexes when you're looking at wheat or oil or all the like the big giant things. They trade on a different market and are its own thing. If you go to FinViz, they actually have a tab for it at top, and you can kind of get a peek at what that stuff is. And it's a great way. It's a great thing to look at, even if you never trade futures, because it might give you where momentum might be swinging in for certain sectors of the market.
Sorry, I'm making guttural noises over here, and they were
It
involuntary.
makes it exciting.
I was having a moment. No, this is looking real. That is a violent looking candle.
I'm spicy.
Ooh, 256. Let's go. Let's go for a new intraday high. Is that okay with everyone? Would that get
That's
everyone's
fine.
vote? Is that alright with you? Okay.
A little buy signal just popped up on the 1 minute too. That's not a big deal, but hey, it's something.
Let's fucking go. Push the button. Yes. Come on.
Yeah, if you want to see something actually crazy, if you go to FinViz and you look at the futures market, the tabs, you will see something that I personally have never seen before. Almost everything is green.
Yeah, it is a pretty green day across the board today, it looks like, from everything on my watch list, especially.
It's crazy. Normally you have a pretty healthy spread, and man, it's green.
Mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah, we're rocking and rolling now. It just wants to dust its gloves off before it breaks through this wall like the Kool-Aid man.
This is where I like to switch to a 3-minute candle, and I try to look for, if it's going to hang out for a second, I try to look for 1, 2, 3 confirmation candles outside of the channel.
Man, I wonder what the end of day volume is going to be on this, because we have an hour and 15 left and we're already pushing 400. We're already over 430 million. Let it go to the moon. I'm trying. I took the leash off and everything.
"15 minutes to power hour."
T minus 15 minutes. Since 90 cents. Yeah, Hell's Trading Floor and the people at Hell's Trading Floor and TD definitely called this one out super early. Like, I think it was sub 60 cents when
Yeah, it was in the
everyone
50s when
hopped
we
on
found it.
Yeah, definitely. So it's shout out to all of Hell's Trading Floor, because I know there was a lot of work put into that one, and it's definitely paying off at this point. So congrats to everyone who made it in early.
Talking about the collective power of a community. Holy crap. That was a hive mind in action. One night I walk in here to my office and I'm like, I can't even think straight. I've got some questions I need answering. Start doing some digging. I wonder if anybody's on the Discord. And by the way, it's 11 o'clock at night on the West Coast. And I get on there, and there's like a dozen people on there in voice chat. So all of a sudden, it was off to the races.
Yeah, it's always wild to see things like that play out, because I mean, if someone told you like, "Hey, I got this thing that's gonna run like 200% maybe in a couple days," you'd be like, "No," like it'd just be like it. But and even while you're doing and seeing it, you're kind of doubting it, and then you're just like, "Yeah, no, this is happening." And it happens with every single one that we've come across. It seems always a little bit of disbelief. You're like, "Oh wow."
It felt like we were in the financial version of a true crime podcast. One of those that like somebody's actual life is on the line.
Ooh, Kat is back. Welcome back, May. Hope everything is alright.
Hey,
what's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Just finished work,
Dr.
and
Green in the house.
I was really excited to come back and see price action on Mullen and
I
just
bet.
stare at it without blinking until my eyes bleed.
Yeah, it's been a wild day, and yeah, I was just like, I'm pretty sure if TD was here, he would want a stream going, so I just messaged him real quick. And he was like, oh yeah,
100%.
let me.
Actually, yeah. How's everyone doing? I'm gonna make a tea.
Great, man. How about you?
Yeah, good. Had a couple of shit interviews at work, so that was a waste of time.
Such is life.
But other than that, yeah, fine. And I'm considering rolling my calls that expire tomorrow next month. But we'll see.
Quadruple witching is upon us.
These. This. And another one.
What's the volume so far?
It is
I'm really curious.
433 million.
Fucking hell, insane.
Very
It makes me
loud.
laugh every time I say the number. Like I might as well say like a floppity jillion. Like it doesn't even matter anymore.
Did you manage to get in when we found it?
Luckily I did actually, kind of earlier on because I saw the talk about it, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, I pretty much trust the community implicitly, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna throw some in there, and I was like, damn, they did it again. It's just never surprised anymore. I'm like, yep, they did it again. Cool. Like, shit.
My calls are up 870% right now.
It's just bananas. Like like I was telling him a minute, or J-Ruff a minute ago. Like it just doesn't even seem like if someone said like, yeah, you can get a 900% return on this in like a week. Like it would just be like the stupidest thing you've ever heard. Like,
Hey.
no, if someone told you beforehand, I guess. If someone's like, yeah, you will. It's like, no, I'm not.
Fucking hell, remember last night we were looking at BFRI, SFT, ASRT, maps, and HAP?
Yes.
They're all moving today.
Oh, yeah.
Assertio is up 8%, BFRI is up 16%, SFT is up 12%, Maps is up 8%, and Happiness is 2%.
Even a couple of the ones that like from 2 weeks ago, SYTA is up 8% again. It's been one of those. It's been a slow moving snail. It's been good. RMED is up 11% today. That's been kind of bouncing around, waiting to make its move. BDIG and BKKT have been creeping back into existence over the last couple of days.
Armed is one of those that wanted to squeeze not too long ago, or
It really did. I think we were starting to see. Were we seeing Elish?
Oh yeah. I do remember Armed.
It was still super early, so a couple of us just jumped into a tiny small position with the intent on scaling up if need be.
Very, very interesting. Oh, I don't like what Mullen is doing on the 5 minutes though.
Yeah, I'm trying to scale out of some of these. I gotta take some profits. Not financial advice, but I can't just watch all this shit there and not do nothing. I gotta take some of it. I got so many contracts anyway. I'm setting the ones that are up over 100%. I'm keeping the ones that are not there yet. So that's a good move, right?
We might have another trend break. Let's go.
Yeah.
Round 76. Let's go.
It keeps tapping that wedge, that channel right.
Oh yeah, it's trying to push out now though. It wants to. Wants to get up out of here.
Happy as long as it stays 240-ish.
Someone, Travis, that's a good question. Can someone explain how the $1 puts I bought to hedge my shares for Tuesday have doubled even with the jump up? Simple answer is just volatility. Options are priced on a few things, one being the underlying assets price, but also volatility and time till expiration. With it moving this crazy, think of it as a probability thing. When options are super cheap, like dirt cheap, it's usually because the probability of them going in the money is super low. With it doing these crazy swings up, down, and obviously even after something squeezes, it comes crashing down traditionally. That means just that volatility, those odds go up quite a bit of the potential of it expiring in the money or deep in the money. So it just means that your volatility got cranked up from when you bought it.
Think of Lloyd in Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance.
Exactly. And he just cranked up a little bit. He just it peaked his so you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. If there's enough volatility in there, man, there's just a chance.
But that's a good thing though, because that means you got him before Ivy spiked up. So you got a little bit of a cushion. So that's an even better hedge for you. Another thing to consider as well when you're doing options, because I've been fooled by this once or twice. Be sure to look at the spit in the ass spread for the option, because what'll happen sometimes is one person is bidding 10 cents and then someone's selling it at like $4. So they're like, oh, the mid's like $2. When in reality, no one's going to pay anywhere near $2. They might pay like 20, 30 cents. But they're not going to pay, you know what I mean? Because they're just looking at the average of the bid in the ass. So make sure you're looking at that as well.
You also just highlighted a really good point too. Pay attention. That's a really good strategy for a lot of people, is paying attention to when stuff is really quiet versus under high volatility. And, people will look for plays and stocks that have periods of high volatility with lulls in between, and look at moving potentially into certain options plays under low volatility and moving out under high, and vice versa.
For if you are day trading this, which if you are day trading, you should know what you're doing. But still, keep an eye out on the head and shoulders that might be forming on the 5 minutes. We have a support line at about, would be 245 to 47, the neckline.
Yeah, I hope it break past, but if it doesn't, you're right. It looks like it could come down to retest where it was just kind of struggling down at like the 240 area if it gets rejected.
At the same time, you do seem to be having a bit of a symmetrical triangle on the same 5 minute. But obviously it's the same neckline / support that could, if it's breaking down, is the same signal.
I would almost actually like to see this shoot down to 237 or even 230 and bounce at the fib retracement points.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit on the level 2s for 230 and above. So I'm sure if it did come down to those levels, it would go quickly rebounding.
I don't see that much actually. I only see like 60,000, 100,000, which is for MULN is really not that much. You get this sort of volume in after hours.
So the highest one I'm saying is just at 230 in general at 113,000. Which it's not like significant, but it's just like one
like
of the...
on MULN I've seen before like 500,000 shares in a single block.
Yeah, and I'm also curious because we've been seeing, I mean, especially the level 2s look crazy when it was like a sub $1 and then even right above $1. Now that the price goes up, those walls look even more impressive because we're talking about double or triple the amount of money that was originally being spent.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Like from 50 cents to 250, like that means that 100,000 now costs 5 times more than it did before. So when we see those numbers, I feel like I'm like, oh shit, like people are really dropping some bank here soon. But if it stays, consistent like that, you're seeing a lot of money there.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. I haven't taken price into account for that. I was thinking in absolute numbers. So yeah, point.
Gotta say, I really enjoy watching the stream.
How's
Oh
it
man, you
going,
should
brother?
subscribe and come
Yeah, if you
could
want
give us
to,
a
just
like
go
and
ahead.
subscribe, that would be great.
Yeah,
It helps
exactly.
out.
Like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you can get the latest notifications from this astounding community. There is this Twitter guru sometimes coming and stopping by and leaving us some really good fucking due diligence.
Sounds like a swell guy.
Ding ding.
He's pretty all right.
What's going on? A good call out on the head and shoulders pattern, by the way, Verde. I see it too. It's definitely a clear head and shoulders pattern. So we'll see if we reverse course, but let's see. If it breaks down below 240 and it doesn't bounce, then probably
looks
be
like
looking at 220.
Ooh,
nice.
Okay, never mind.
Well, speaking of it bouncing,
Come on in.
Well, we got 1 minute to power hour.
Right.
If you have Trading View and you want to check another indicator, I've noticed that what Mullen's been doing all day is when it goes for a run, it'll bounce off of the VWAP high average. There's an indicator for VWAP on Trading View that'll create a high-low range, a high-low and an average range for the VWAP, and it'll let you know. You'll actually see that Mullen has been bouncing off of the session high VWAP instead of the VWAP itself, which is actually really cool. And that's what this head and shoulders has been following. It's been respecting that high VWAP. Maybe if I actually show my stream.
Yeah, I was going to say, just let me know if you want me to share yours. I'll switch it out.
Go for it.
Cool. Let me get you pulled up here.
Oh, crazy.
So I neglected to tell anybody this because I didn't want anybody to follow my trade because it was a really dumb trade. but
let me guess. You bought some $7.5 or $10 strikes for April.
No, actually, yesterday I'm no longer in this position, by the way. So it's already too late. All right. I did not want to disclose this position because it was really dumb, and I probably in all likelihood should have lost every dollar. But when we bounced off of the low of 156 yesterday, or 152, whatever that low was, when I saw the bounce and we got confirmation, I bought 100 $2.50 calls for this Friday.
Oh my God!
I sold them today for a 500% profit.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
You fucking ape.
You are
you fucking ape.
Dude,
they were worth 5 cents when I purchased them, and I turned them all around. I turned them all around for 25 cents.
Oh yeah.
You fucking ape.
It was extremely dumb, but I saw this thing. I saw this thing moving.
It's not stupid if it works. It's not stupid if it works.
I guess.
Oh my God.
High risk, high reward.
On quadruple witching, nonetheless.
Yeah. So.
I mean, who doesn't?
So now that I am here, I think that it is extremely important that people understand their risk and respect it completely. But I just want to throw out that full disclosure. The trade that I just described was remarkably stupid. So if you're buying $2.50 strike calls that are expiring this Friday now, then you're dumber than I am.
Yeah, so I
Probably
should get out of these.
should
Never buy
probably
a whole
consider
24
getting out of
hours.
Oh my god.
Unless
I
you
should get
plan
out
to
of my-
exercise, there is literally no reason to be holding those calls. You should be out of. You should have been out of them as soon as we popped over 250. Legit.
Oh, that's crazy. Love it.
I'm
How do
astounded.
I get my money back?
I am astounded that I actually did profit off of those so well. That was a pretty. That was just lucky. That was lucky. I've been
That's
down on
wow.
my portfolio. I was down on my portfolio by about $4,000 this past month, and now I'm back up $3,000
Lucky.
in just the last 2 trading days because of Mullen. It's been a hell of a trade.
Speaking of which,
looks like we're at-
TD,
Yeah.
there's some. I know you've been out, but maybe you want to throw some eyes on maps. The ticker is MAPS, MAPS.
we're at that neckline, guys.
SFT is another one.
Okay. I know that Cadude was looking at SFT, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I have a small position in SFT. I bought it a bit too early, but it's back in the green now by about 10-15%.
Interesting.
So I bought a couple of days ago on the previous breakout, allegedly.
Ooh, wow. Look at this. That's a George W. That's a George W.
The short
Look at that cup.
exempts are really, really piling in on this one as well.
No shit. All right.
So
all right.
I'll just post you in the live stream when I bought. Basically, it was just on the earnings date because I thought it's doing a double bottom, and then I think the day before earnings I bought actually, or 2 days
Okay.
before at the top 184.
Okay. We'll look at that one. Right now, Mullen is on the neckline, so this is make or break. We're gonna find out if this thing bounces or if it breaks below. If it breaks below, then it's a bearish trend and do what you got to do. But at this point, anybody who is here at Hell's Trading Floor, y'all should not be in 250 calls unless you're planning to exercise this Friday. There should be no 250 calls for this Friday in your portfolio right now. It's just not a smart trade. It's not a profitable trade because you would be better off purchasing securities at this point. Your delta is so close to 1 and there's just no reason to. Well, actually, no, your delta is nowhere near 1 because these are not in the money.
I cannot believe all my positions turned green today.
It's pretty amazing, actually. I've been enjoying looking at my portfolio. It was like suddenly there was just this really great big vertical green line when I woke up this morning. And
What really bothers me is SPY and the question that is always in the back of my mind: how the fuck is this sustainable?
Did you guys see futures? The futures market?
No, what happened there?
So look at it.
Okay, guys. Well, unfortunately, we have broke the head and shoulders. So
237 is the 50% retracement on the run up. The next would be 230.
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and evacuate some calls for April, and I'm gonna wait for a reentry because this is a bear trend. All right, we have to acknowledge what we see in front of us. This is most definitely a bear trend.
Exactly what I did.
So I'm still holding on to a pretty sizable position. It's modest, but I am going to manage my risk. I'll keep a little skin in the game just in case it stays up. You know, it may bounce late. Who knows? But it's I am in deep profit, and I want to keep some of my buying power fresh and free. I want to keep that cash free. Very important to keep yourself in good standing with cash. And besides, the volatility is just nuts right now. There's just such high volatility on this stock at the moment. It's this is not the time to be buying calls. This is the time to either wait for consolidation or the downtrend and and wait for a dip. This thing has been ripping all day long, just absolutely tearing faces off. So there's no reason to be upset. I cannot be more pleased with Mullen right now. The trend is absolutely still in our favor on the long term. Market makers are just really going to fight to make sure that those 250s stay out of the money this week. So they are going to try and redeem control. So keep that in mind. That is all. Let's go take a look at a few other plays and see what other opportunities we have in front of us, because now we have some free buying power now that I've gotten out of my positions. Well, not gotten out, but I've reduced my positions. I've secured some of my bags. I've got a lot of fresh buying power now, and I can make some nice day trades. If I actually consolidated my accounts, I would be back above pattern day trader status. Would be kind of nice, but not going to do that right now. Let's see. There's a couple of plays to look at. So CEI was bouncing. I don't know how the oil market is doing at the moment, but I do think that it would be worth comparing.
Whoa, IRNT just took a huge bid.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. That's a late alert. Don't pay attention to that. IRNT, what are you doing? Ooh, yeah, wow, look at that volume spike.
Yeah, and look at the cross of the 9, the 9 and the 200 on the 5.
Ooh. Ooh. There you go.
While we're pulling through that, Mullen is starting to get close to testing that 230 mark. We're going to see if we get a bounce back up into this channel.
All right. I would expect IRNT to get rejected at the top of this at least once. It's been rejected off of this descending resistance 2 times, and it's going to need to consolidate at that resistance before it can break through. So I'm not going to rush into a position. I still have some of my calls in IRNT. So let me see. Did I actually add to my position today? I can't remember if I added to my position today or yesterday. I did not. Okay. But it's back up, so no complaints. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's see, when is this expiring? This is expiring in May. I'll hold on to it.
Have a look at GFAI. Well, actually, have a look in the ScourgeBot spam in the professional floor.
ScourgeBot spam.
I'll tag you. It's easier, probably.
ALZN's up 15%, and your GitLab is up about 15%.
Yeah, my calls for GitLab are back green.
IDEX is also making a cross as well. This is one that I've been paying attention to. It's another EV play. They're based out of the U.S., but they sell a lot of their EV scooters and mopeds and motorcycles, which are pretty sexy, by the way, to the Far East. They're big in Thailand, which is actually the largest market for motorcycles and mopeds. Easy avoid all the pedestrians crossing the street. BBIG has been showing strength. There's all kinds of stocks that have been showing all kinds of strength lately. Let's see. See the put call ratio on BBIG is heavily bullish.
Looks like
What
the
else? What do
whole
we-
market's relaxing right now. The tick just dropped down to negative 800 and it's taking a breather.
GFAI. Okay. Let's see.
So GFAI have following Ortex data. Utilization is 100%. Estimated short interest is 51%. Cost to borrow average 366%.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
No
I can see
options.
what. Okay, I can see what you mean with GFAI. This one's actually really hurting the market maker. So they never really had a chance to cover this thing. Ooh, wow. What's the
Well,
float on this stock? What's the float on this ticker?
15 million, something like that.
That's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
That's really tiny.
So let me check my ownership on my broker. They have actually total shares 15 million, out of which strategic entities 52%, 2% by institutions, and others 45%.
Interesting. Are there any filings on them that are of concern or relevant?
I know nothing about the company. It just popped up on one of the screeners the other day.
Gotcha. Well, it's been moving. Let me go ahead and pull this one up. Actually, I see that Maps is already running, or getting ready to. It's tapping resistance again. That's actually a good entry point. I like it. I do like it.
Yeah, Map seems to be coming off a wedge, and then is now, if you take the price action from the gap down and draw Fibonacci, is just about touching that Fibonacci.
That's perfect wedge. That's perfect. Wow. Is it really? Oh, my bad. There we go. It should be good now. GFAI. Yeah, I like that. That's a good setup. That's very nice. I think that you said that there was no options on this one, right?
Yeah, no options on it.
That's okay. You know, I would still play that. I'll tell you what. I like the entry. It's consolidating nicely, and it's on. It's got a small wedge. It's looking like it's about ready to break out, and go ahead and just. I'm not going to bother drawing the bottom of the wedge. This one's pretty clear here. It's getting ready to break out.
So looks like Ziki is a bit more acquainted with GFAI. He says they have 10% cash and the 90% shares that are locked. Robotic arm company. They're getting into doing cybersecurity as well. Earnings coming out in March 31st.
Well, there you go. That's plenty of good reasons to jump into something like that. For a day trade, easy. I'll tell you what. This is really low. So between GFAI, I need to do an analysis on IDEX really quick because it broke its massive downtrend. I don't know if you can see, but
Yep.
it's been in this downtrend in a falling wedge for a long time. This is a very bullish pattern, and it just broke out today. So I'm gonna look at a couple of these. Let's see. IDEX.
Ooh, and while that's going on, the battle on Mullen's front is raging. It's found 230 and it's trying to turn. We'll see if it hangs out or keeps moving south.
There you go. RDF kindly shared some Ortex data with everyone in live stream chat on GFAI. The float must be tiny though.
Okay. IDEX is not showing as much volatility. So this is actually a good time for share entry. I wouldn't be playing with the options just yet, unless you want to do leaps for a long investment. But I wouldn't. I'm not going to suggest that to anyone unless you're already looking at IDEX for a long investment, for long-term investment, I should say. That's when that would be most fitting. Let's see. Inspect short. Well, you know what? We should be doing this in the. I don't need to be doing this, DD, in the ScourgeBot spam channel. Let's just do this in the live stream chat so everybody can see it. Let's give everybody a chance to actually look at what ScourgeBot does. If you're here in Hell's Trading Floor and you're watching the chat, you can see some of this information here. Thank you very much, RDF, for the GFAI stuff. I really like seeing the cost to borrow being that high. That's actually really nice. Yeah, that's bullish. That's
Oh
bullish.
boy, Mullen's turning.
Mullen is turning. Maybe I'm gonna have to go and day trade a little bit. I'm gonna wait for confirmation though. I'm gonna wait until we break back above that neckline.
Yeah, it looks like at least on the 1 minute the RSI had a little crossover. Finally, it had been trying to break through it.
Yeah, I need to see some consolidation in this thing. It needs a chance to consolidate, and it's above VWAP. It's hanging above the VWAP, so it's really nice.
Man, the OBV on Mullen currently stands at 1.35 billion shares.
What? What?
Oh wow, and there was also bullish divergence on the RSI a couple minutes ago.
This is what they've been doing. That 230 is the 38.2% retracement line, which has generally been more than is comfortable for most people to stomach. But if you zoom back, oftentimes it also correlates with some 61 point or some 38.2% retracement, or flip those. The smaller one and the bigger one. They drop it down in the bigger one during the intraday, but it's only retracing the smaller one on the couple of days back, and it freaks people out.
Man, the candle on 5 minutes on Mullen has such a long wick, such a big hammer.
Sorry.
Woohoo.
There's a lot of plays to jump in on, but like I don't want to overextend it all.
Ooh, man.
That's how you get into trouble.
Back
Trying to play too
240.
many plays. Trying to play too many plays at one time can hurt you in a lot of ways. Let's see. That OBV does look nice. Broke above the two peaks. Now the OBV is tracking upward. Of course, I want to play all of these plays because they all seem really good, but we have to carefully choose our battles. So here's what I'm looking at. IDEX, not really a short squeeze play, at least not the classic. It's more of a long investment. So with IDEX, this is one where it's breaking out of a long-term bearish pattern, or a bearish downtrend, and the falling wedge is a bullish signal. So this breakout is very nice. It's a good sign. If you notice, there's been sudden pops in the stock in the past, just especially with like good earnings or just good news in general from PR statements from the company. IDEX does a decent job with their PR statements. They could be doing better, but overall, they try to keep people's expectations in check and not make too many promises, especially not any that they can't keep. That being said, this is one where if you want to make an entry, this should probably be a long-term play, something that you want to invest in. Kind of treat it like, this could be like a new Tesla. Like it could be one of those new big players or a latecomer to the industry and fill a niche. But if you're looking for squeeze plays are a different story. So let's take a look here. Let's see, IDEX. I do got to check one more thing. Let's check the live options on IDEX just to make sure that we're not missing like the possibility of a gamma ramp. I don't think we are. Oh, there is a gamma ramp. Interesting. IDEX put call ratio is 87.2% calls. And there are 28.8 thousand calls expiring.
Oh, sorry, buy a signal on Mullen. It just broke to 243 and tested it for a second.
All right, well, there we go. Let me double check and make sure that I still have day trades and I'm not going to get myself smacked by my broker. Okay, I have one day trade on SPY.
It's like it's trying to decide what it wants to do. It's just indecision candle.
No surprise there.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys go ahead and take over. Tell you what, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and take over the stream, Cat. I'm going to go grab myself a coffee. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Get groggy.
Alrighty. See how we do. The RSI definitely had its chance to cool off. Now we got to get back to this marathon sprint.
The 3-minute candle's about to close. And if it closes green, that's a third one consecutive, and that's a big day trading symbol. So we might get an extra pop if it closes green here in the next 8 seconds.
So I should probably add the, and that probably make it even more messy.
Oh, that's a nice doji.
Come
Hell
on.
yeah!
Looks like Thor's hammer. Let's go. Like that's finally recaptured this first moving average and just kind of consolidating there. Let's make another leg up. Let's
This is the battle.
See, all right, we just cracked over 470 million volume for the day. Congratulations, everybody. J Ruff, was that you?
I'm sorry.
Heavy pockets. Oh.
I got the I fat fingered at it.
TD scared me out of my cold. Yeah, well, to be fair, you should be scared. No, he is
yeah,
right.
quite a bit.
He is right. I mean, just in general, playing this as a gamble, playing it for tomorrow is a huge gamble. I mean, if you have it like a month out, then obviously you can kind of justify like your own risk tolerance there. But yeah, I think it was 100% right to say get the hell out of calls for tomorrow because Fade is gonna burn you unless this thing like rockets to $5 overnight or something. You're gonna be wrecked by Theta. The CEO of Mullen just tweeted, did he?
Oh, jeez.
Someone said that in YouTube chat. Let's investigate.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Ooh. What's the news? Let me pull it up here real quick. Okay, yeah, for anyone who's curious, I will drop this in live stream chat. But essentially, it's this here. He made a tweet proud of the incredible progress Mullen has made so far, but we're just getting started. A picture of a sexy ass car and a link to a news article. Put that in. Now Mullen is having a nice little green candle. So let's just say that they're correlated and it's just going to rocket because of how sexy that car is.
High volatility and social media from a presence known usually gets circulated in about 90 seconds. So that perfect fit.
Oh, thank you, Jumanji. Jumanji. Is that how it's pronounced? Like Jumanji, but Jumanji? G-Manji. Yeah, you beat me to it. Nice. Okay.
All right, we're approaching the upper echelons of this downward bullish channel, which is also the 38.2%
There we go.
level.
Come on, let's break through those moving averages. 245.
I find it significant that the channel crosses exactly where that fib level crosses, right where it's starting to break through.
Oh my, look at that. It's getting excited. It's percolating.
And here we go, ladies.
If we pass 250, I'm gonna have to get a hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, buckle up. We are about to go somewhere. We are definitely 100% without question moving to the right.
Man.
Guaranteed this next candle is going to move to the right. And a quiet washes over the green. He's lining up his putt.
That 250. Let's go for it. Yeah, anyone who was asking about Prague earnings, they did confirm it's the 28th is when they're scheduled to have their earnings. I believe it's aftermarket, right? On the 28th? If anyone can confirm that for me. I believe they tweeted it out. Bye, Scrap Queen.
Jesus,
Brandon, that's happened before.
they stopped this on a dime. They're testing those carbon fiber brakes. Oh boy, we're still up there. Woohoo!
Distractions. Distractions.
Oh, wild. That's crazy. I'm going to post something in the live stream chat. That's just a fun pattern to see what they've done here. And it's going to look like spaghetti at first. Like a clown's spaghetti.
The rest of the market looking like? I feel like I'm hyper fixated on Mullen right now. Man, SPY really has just been like moving all day. Try to test 440 like 3 or 4 different times. Couldn't quite make it, but wow.
We're in a crisscrossing channel.
Crisscross applesauce?
Quite literally. Okay. It's the pre-market channel and the intraday channel.
Nice. Man, I got out of some Neo calls yesterday and it ran up to 19 in pre-market. I kind of wish I had still pushing. I wish I had rolled them. Market is kind of quiet right now, it seems, though. Everything's kind of just going a bit sideways. SPY's kind of sideways range bound right now.
So tinfoil hat time. This is my running active theory. We've got a bunch of crisscrossing potential patterns. This is both bullish and bearish simultaneously, depending on what time frame you're looking at it on. So the algorithms are trying to figure out which way they want to move. And if there is one fighting another, fighting another, fighting another, pauses. And it's usually followed up with a big surge because they start running.
Oh, I just realized I was talking to myself. And I was,
You do what I do all the time.
I was wondering if
like,
it just
why
got
the
kind of
fuck?
quiet in here. Like, I was like, man,
Why
everyone's
is
kinda...
nobody talking to me?
Nobody's responding to what I have to say, and it hurts. It really, really hurts.
I was just saying how I might have done something stupid.
Lay it on me. I love stupid.
I might have just bought a bunch of calls on maps.
Well, like, didn't you say earlier it's not stupid if it works? No, not you.
Yeah.
There you
go. I bought $10 strike.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. You said, what was it, maps?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was that? What's your expiration?
Expiration is in April.
Okay.
On the monthlies.
I mean, it's not out of the question, and I mean, especially if you can get a nice like volatility run, they would definitely have a.
That's why I bought them.
Yeah, that's not. See, that's not that dumb. It's only a little dumb.
Yeah, but then you don't want to know how many I bought.
That I probably shouldn't know. Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna say.
Just enough to call it dumb.
Exactly.
Just enough that you hesitated to even tell me about it in the first place.
Yes.
It's either stupid or brilliant.
Well. Yes.
It's a fine line. Usually drawn by time.
GFAI. What was the ticker that really got my attention last night? Was it GFAI? No. Help me here.
There was a happiness development one.
Yeah, we were talking about buying happiness.
Yes,
I don't think
I
that
do
was the
remember
ticker,
that.
but trying to retrace steps.
No, I have that ticker. It's HAPP.
Trying to think of what you were going down the rabbit hole with prior to that.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mullen shaping up.
I have
a nice little bend around here. Come on, let's recapture 250. Go for it.
I think I'll purchase my 400 million shares right now.
Nice candle there. Come on, Mullen. Let's keep it up.
Holy shit, babe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me hit the go button.
Come on, J-Ruff. That's why we can't have nice things.
Did he go back to work then?
What'd you say, Bernie?
Did he gone back to work?
He's in the cave. He's got some ideas cooking.
He said he was just going to grab coffee real quick, but must be a French press.
He's hand grinding the beans. You know, it takes time. He's gonna
like
make
I ventured to the
coffee.
hills of Colombia to.
Although I heard Peruvian might be better, but
hand roasted each bean with magnifying glass in the sun.
Man, Mullen is so Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. If you look on the 5 minutes chart, but if you zoom out enough, this is a perfect bull pennant, and we are at resistance.
Oh yeah, no, I've been drawing it. I've been drawing it all day. That's why I keep laughing at these idiots who keep pulling this crap, because everybody's catching on. All you got to do is zoom out, and you can see how they're taking a bearish, scary-looking pattern and laying it over top of something that's really quite bullish.
Well, it's interesting too, because I feel like these patterns are kind of just like pieces of each other, because I mean, what is a pennant if not a head and shoulders that just doesn't become a full head and shoulders? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're all kind of just, like we were saying, it's a mixture of the mathematics and human emotion, and they all kind of look a distinct way, and I feel like they all have to kind of work and correlate together, because it's the same stuff over and over again. It's just whether or not does this become a shoulders, does this become a breakout, is this rejection, blah blah blah. So
and a lot of people, it took me months, if not a whole year, to realize that technical analysis is not about drawing lines on a chart and eating crayons like I do. It's about being predictive and reactive, and what could a pattern become.
Right.
Not what the pattern is. What could it become? Anticipate the move.
Yep. Right, because by the time you're already seeing a full form pattern, it's already done with.
Yep, it's in the past.
Okay.
Welcome back.
I am now back.
I was going to say that was a very familiar okay.
GitLab. What is GitLab doing? It's cruising nicely. Oh, GFAI might have a breakout here.
Maybe so. Got a double bottom here on IRT.
I think I'm gonna go and buy some stock on GFAI.
Ford
I
is
think
testing it.
Probably am going to do the same thing, honestly. I'm going to stay out of any Mullen calls. I'm not going to day trade. I'm not going to day trade calls for the rest of the day. I would be literally just buying back into the exact same position. So I'm going to stay out just in case it does end up breaking down after hours.
Yeah.
I have a pretty strong feeling that market makers are going to try to push this anyway. I think they are going to try to hurt it and try to get some covering done. There's a lot of borrows coming out on Ortex as well. So with all of the shares on loan currently, I think there's going to be some downward pressure. So I'll be looking for an opportunity to put some lift on it.
Progenity just set a new intraday high.
Yeah, I got it. I got some more Progenity calls the other day. I wasn't going to say anything, but I mean, now the position is up, and I feel like if I don't disclose, that I'm like, I don't know, just withholding from people. But anyway,
do they have earnings today after hours?
On the 28th, I believe.
28th, yeah.
It was coming.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. Okay, so I want to show everybody something. I want to show people what I talk about when I talk about reading Ortex data and understanding what it actually means to be analyzing the short interest and the and market maker activity. Let's see if I can go on. I need to show this chart. Where did my Discord stream window go? There it is. Okay. Are you showing my stream on the YouTube stream, Cat? Okay, thank you. So I want to explain a fallacy of Ortex that a lot of people use. Most people, when they look at Ortex, they look at this. They look at the short interest of free float. They focus on just this number, okay? And this is all they pay attention to. And this is a good way to completely misread and misrepresent the data. Like, you get yourself into so much trouble looking at just this number. The only thing that this tells you is how many shares short divided by the free float. That's it. Like, this is only short interest divided by free float. That's total number of shares divided by the number of tradable shares in the market. The problem that you create is when there's dilution, like you've had with Mullen, is you increase the float. You're dividing by a bigger number. So before, this was reading like, it was ridiculous. It was like 130%. And then everyone's like, oh my God, they're naked shorting. No, they just haven't updated the free float numbers yet. There may be naked shorting on this, but you don't know that. And you and you can't make that assumption just because Ortex has a lag in the data. And then when it goes back down to like 2.8%, then everybody's simultaneously screaming, oh, Ortex is working with the hedge funds to fuck with us. And they're trying to just trick us. No, there's a lag in the data. So stop freaking out. I get so upset watching people on Twitter that have no idea what they're talking about get so upset when this data changes because the numbers update. So let me explain what was going on, and maybe we can like get ahead of this and stop people from freaking out every time. So when you're looking at Ortex data, remember that short interest percent of FF is short interest, that is these shares right here, the current SI, divided by the free float. Now before, when Mullen was in this long downtrend, Mullen had a free float that had grown up to about 19 million or 20 million shares or so. After that, Azusa started pulling shares out of Mullen, and they started diluting them and selling to their institutional holders. And what that was doing was it was causing this illusion that the short interest was growing because the short interest was growing, but it showed the short interest of free float as if there was no dilution happening when there was. And I was even talking about this repeatedly, saying like Azusa is diluting the stock forcefully. They're pulling shares out with their equity line of credit, with their cashless warrant exercises and things like that. Like, they were constantly pulling shares out and they were diluting. That causes downward selling pressure, and they were also increasing the supply. But it wasn't reported on Ortex because the numbers hadn't been disclosed. So because of that, the short interest kept growing, but the free float stayed the same. Now the free float is somewhere in the range of like 180 million or so because of all of the cashless warrant exercises. And go back in my Twitter feed, and you want to say that I'm a liar, anybody who wants to hate, just go back in my Twitter feed. I talked about this. I told everybody, look, the free float has grown. There has been dilution. And now, lo and behold, everyone's screaming like, oh, God, they diluted. It's like, that happened weeks ago, all right? You're late. Pay attention to the filings and stop freaking out about, like, you're giving into this bearish narrative.
Dude, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
I still have to go and try and explain this anyway.
I know.
This dilution that was happening, it was happening while the price was going up, all right? While we were tracking towards $2 back here on February 28th, the dilution was happening while the price was going up. It happened in the face of constant supply, a growing supply.
You may miss your entry, by the way.
Yeah, we've recaptured 250.
I'm going to miss my entry. Oh, y'all are going to make me FOMO in.
Yes, blame the messenger.
I've still got some calls. I've still got 250 calls on April. It's just I don't have as many of them because I was expecting a bearish downturn. No, I'm not. I'm gonna be a responsible trader. I'm gonna be a good boy. Because the reason why is because of what I'm about to show you. Okay, so now we've looked at the short percentage of short interest percent of free float. Look at what the actual short interest is doing. Okay, See, the short interest percentage of free float was doing the zigzag pattern and then just suddenly fell through the floor. But look, the short interest itself, that's the number of shares sold short. It actually went up. It didn't go down like this. It actually went up because that's the total number of shares. So if we're paying attention to this, what we actually see is that the shorts are continuing to grow their positions even though the price is going up. They're looking for this thing to get hammered down. So there are some signs that maybe what might be happening. Well, utilization is pretty well maxed out. So what's up with that? Well, check out the on loan. There you go.
Jesus.
This is the number of shares on loan that have not been sold short. And this is how I know it's a market maker that's involved in this shit. Look at the on loan compared to the actual shares sold short. That's 15 million. 15 million shares have been borrowed. And the cost to borrow fee is still low. Now, there's multiple possibilities that could be going on with this that would explain why this is happening. My theory is that the shorts, there's not really many shorts that are trying to like hammer the stock down right now. There's a few of them that are trying to be smart and day trade this thing. I say be smart with air quotes. But the number of shares that are on loan right now, this is either ammunition for shorts that is being borrowed but has not actually been sold into the market because they are holding onto them waiting for an entry. And that's one way that they can do this is they can go out and find people who are willing to lend them their shares. And then the short can just wait for when the price goes up through the ceiling, and then they short it at what they think is the top. The other possibility is that there's a market maker who is continuously borrowing and borrowing and borrowing shares in order to delay the failures to deliver. So let's take away the short interest and the utilization now. Let's just look at the on loan and then compare it to the failures to deliver. You see this giant spike that we had here. This is exactly what I was talking about. 6 million failures to deliver 2 days after we started our position here at Hell's trading floor. I looked at those short exempts and I was like, that's ridiculous and that's bullshit. They have a bunch of fails to deliver. There's no way that they have that many shares. It's not possible. And I entered a position. And lo and behold, look at where we are now. Look at how many fails to deliver there were just on February 24th. Now that only reports up to the 28th. Notice the very next day, there was a huge amount of short exempts that hammered down the stock. There's a whole bunch of borrowing that happened the following day after that. That's more market maker shenanigans, okay? If you look at the short exempts from this particular day on March 1st, you would see that it was like 22 million, which was more than the free float at the time. But the stock was also simultaneously being diluted by a Sousa. So there's a lot of complex moving parts here that you have to factor in when you're looking at these really complex trades, and also understand that you're fighting against one of the largest financial entities in the United States, because market makers, this is what they do. They move the price in a way that ensures that they can provide liquidity to the market while simultaneously making a profit on micro trades that happen in a fraction of a second.
Just a 3-minute, just over 3-minute warning till market close.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. But I just wanted to really illustrate just exactly what's going on with this stock. The short squeeze, as we imagine it, isn't quite a classic short squeeze. And what we need to understand is that we are fighting against a market maker that's continuously delaying the delivery of the shares that are owed, and they're doing it by borrowing up more and more shares. So that's something to be cognizant of. The other possibility, and there's probably some truth to this, is that there's other institutions that are borrowing shares with the understanding that there is going to be a massive sell-off. So they're probably going to try to short it at the ideal time. And collusion happens in the market all the time. So that's something that we have to be careful of, and just recognize when that risk presents itself. Okay, so let's be realistic, and this is why I'm not taking a position today. Okay, I'm not re-adding to the position. I just got out. I captured some of my profits, and I am holding on to that. I've still got my my basket of shares that I've got at a really low entry, and I'm going to wait to add to that position when I perceive that we've dipped. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and move back over to the chart so we can go ahead and see what's going on for the close of the day. So we'll see what happens going into close today. But I do agree with you guys. This is a bull flag or a bullish pennant. Very, very nice pattern. I like seeing this. For those that were looking for some confirmation bias, you can see the
Love how you just said
TKAT
confirmation
is
bias.
back from.
some
Holy
confirmation.
shit!
90
This
seconds.
is TKAT is back from the dead.
TCAT?
TCAT, TCAT.
That's an old.
It's 20-something % up today.
IRNT is showing strength, and I'm going to predict a move. What's the short interest on IRNT?
Let me check.
That's why
60
TA is looking
seconds.
strong too.
It's 10% cost to borrow
10%.
average. Yeah, estimated though.
I feel like I have
short.
to FOMO into something. I have to FOMO into
No,
something.
We got 45
don't do
seconds
it.
to do it.
Oh, give me a position. Give me some financial advice, Verde. What am I buying?
Mullen! I mean, horse you rode in on, right?
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going in IRNT with you. What do I buy? What do I buy? What do I buy? Tell me.
20 seconds.
April. No, I'm too cheap for that.
10 seconds.
15 seconds.
All right, okay. I got 5 calls for
8,
April
7,
1st.
6, 5, 4. Oh, Mullen's at 250 already. Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't manage to get it.
Holy crap.
Crap, I couldn't get my IRNT calls filled.
Ooh, is Mullen going to move in after hours? Let's go.
Whoa.
Let's go. I have to change
I've
me
still
tidy
got-
whities.
I've still got my shares, and I've got a handful of calls, so I'll be very happy. I'll be very happy either way.
Yeah, for real. FOMOing's never a good idea.
No, it really isn't. When you start to get to that point where you feel that beat in your chest and the adrenaline is taking over, it's like, yeah, you're making a really bad emotional decision at that point.
Yeah,
So,
stand up and leave.
yeah, it's time to stand up and leave. Like, I can't be upset. I just pulled $4,000 out of trades in cash today. I just made my entire month's paycheck just in day trades today. That's a fantastic day. So we'll give ourselves some time and we'll see what happens to Mullen tomorrow. I have a feeling that market makers are probably going to try to hammer it down and stuff the price so that
well,
so that
you
nobody
closed
gets
at 250, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great close, and I can't be I can't be upset either way with how Mullins performed. Like, I knew that those 250s were a long shot, and as soon as I saw that the risk was as soon as I had gotten a good reward for the risk that I took, I exited that position. That's just what you do. If you're looking to fight market makers, you do that as you're able to, but you can't put yourself at such financial risk that like you're not helping your own cause by just dumping a bunch of money into some really stupid YOLO calls that are only giving liquidity to the market maker. The only way that you're actually going to help is if you take a reasonable trade, if you take a reasonable risk and you take money back. so that you can use it later. It's important to it's important not only to manage the risk for yourself, but also like if you're going to do something dumb like me and revenge trade against massive financial entities, you should probably first remember that you're fighting against giant financial entities. And you're one dude.
Well, I'm gonna go play some Monster Hunter World or something. That was fun. I need to chill.
Yeah. This is a good day. Good day for trading. I'll go ahead and Verde, if you feel like you want to go ahead and drop off, I'm going to go ahead and close the day with some recaps on some other plays because it's been a while since I've done it. I've got a little bit of time left today, so I'll give everybody a quick update on plays that we're looking at. Let's see. Let's go take a look at the Scourge bot stuff.
Yeah, that was a $10,000 day. I'm going to pour myself a dram of whiskey.
Wow. That's a good win. Congratulations. $10,000. Jeez. All right. I'm not interested in commissions. That's not that's too much like financial advice. But I'll tell you, it's nice to see everybody else is making good profits. People are getting good performance out of these plays lately. I've seen a lot of really excellent wins from people lately. It's nice when everyone's up.
Dilly posted something earlier saying that we may have our made a millionaire in Hell's trading floor.
No kidding. We made a millionaire? Dude,
We did.
That's amazing. Wow.
Whoa, there's something crazy going on with GameStop and after hours right now.
Really?
What is going on?
What the hell?
Something weird is going on.
What the heck?
Whoa.
That's a negative 10% spike. What the hell? How'd they hit this by 10% in just a single minute?
AMC's doing it too. Or a little bit, not quite as dramatic, but it had the same kind of quick spike down, and then that's recuperated, whereas GME has not yet.
Wow.
Ooh, hit 80.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Let's see if there's any news.
Earnings.
Oh,
yeah, they're hitting.
GME has
they're hitting
earnings.
them on
Forgot
earnings.
about that.
I wonder if they've even been reported yet.
Bear flag on the 4 hours on GME.
Oh man, AMC's following now. It's below 15.
Whoa, GME cratered.
Jeez. That ain't no
That's
good.
a lot
Ooh,
of volume.
77. Wow, it's really going down.
Holy shit. How did they give it this much volume in after hours?
What on earth?
They're hitting it's across the board. Like the Mavis is down like probably what's the percent on it? Mavis just dropped 3%. AMC's down almost 2.5%. I mean, you can see the candles that are all at the same exact time across a lot of the meme plays that are just getting smashed.
Dip before the rip.
I was going to say, you know what that smells like, Rabbit?
Wow.
I mean, they're not all being algo traded and traded in one large basket. There's no GME has earnings and all things across the board get slapped at the same time.
They're probably hitting the entire IWM, and a lot of these basket stocks are in IWM. Like, look at BBIG. BBIG is not doing it, and it's one of the few meme plays that's not in the IWM.
Yeah.
Let's see, CEI. CEI is not doing it.
Is Mullen part of the
Sens.
IWM?
Check Sens. Let's see what Sens is doing. If Sens is spiking down, then that's confirmation that they're hitting.
No, Sens looks like it's all right.
Looks like we may be seeing maybe a bounce in GME and AMC. It's above 80 again.
It's like they have like their own little individual basket of like the targeted plays that they're coming after. Because there's no reason for Mavis and AMC to drop out on GME earnings.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying to see if I see anything else.
Mullen took a little hit as well.
That's why I was curious. Is Mullen in the IWM?
No, it's not. It's a micro cap. It's not in any of the Russells.
Yeah, I figured.
Besides, it just IPO'd.
That's your psychological effect right there. You got a bunch of people who are generally looking at all the same stocks. They see one crater, they all freak out thinking the whole market's going to fail.
Yeah. What is SPY doing? Tesla is
fine.
Fine.
Yes, yeah.
It's like sideways.
SPY's not doing too bad. It had a big green candle. It gave back up in after hours, but nothing significant.
I haven't traded the SPY the last couple of days. I bought puts the other day, and then I saw I bought puts like here, and then it bounced up off of here, so I took like a really small loss. I think I took like a 5% loss. I'm so glad that I exited that.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Is that
I don't know what the SPY is going to do in the short term, but I can get a better entry for some puts. I'm not trusting the SPY. I don't think that long term it's going to hold up. It's at resistance again, and I think it's going to get smacked. But anyway, let's go ahead and review some of the other plays. What was the other one? We have GILT. This one is actually consolidating pretty nicely. We've got a wedge formed on the 4 hour here, and if you actually look at the long term trend, there's a wedge here as well. So nice consolidation for GILT. This is one that ScourgeBot picked out for us. We're gonna look for a breakout above $8.50, and at that point we'll be looking to break $9 and get ourselves out of this wedge. It'll probably get hit it'll probably see resistance here, but if not, then or if it can at least get past that resistance, GILT looked like a good short-term runner. No other reason than ScourgeBot just saw some divergence, and short exempts were moving against it pretty significantly. It's also a low float stock, very, very small float. I think it's a micro float. GILT and inspect GILT. Yep. It's a 56.5 million shares outstanding, 46.6 million on the float. And if we go back to our Ortex chart and go ahead and take a look, I want to see what GILT's short interest was. It is Gillette or Gillette satellite networks. Pretty low short interest, 1% of free float with a current SI of 457,000 shares sold short. No failures to deliver Just not really much of anything to speak of other than just short exempts suddenly popped. There's a little bit of volatility coming into it. So we'll see if we can get a quick scalp trade off of this one. I'd be looking for it to break up to $9. See if it breaks out and take profit at 10. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's got a bit of room to run. IRNT, this is a cybersecurity play. I was trying to jump into some more calls here, but looks like I didn't get a chance. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning. We may continue consolidation, but we'll see what it does when it reacts to this resistance. On a breakout, would be very nice to get into some $4 calls and ride this one out through May. Earnings is coming up on March 30th, so it's a play that has some it gets legs. I gotta say, IRNT really knows how to get some legs and really run when it wants to. It's had some fantastic runs in its day. If you look at IRNT back when it was trading at around $10, it got some traction back in August, right around the time that SPRT and BBIG got their runs, and IRNT moved with it. Went all the way to a high of 47.50 and then collapsed down from there. But the OBV, notice the OBV, hellish divergence. This is what we call this, where the plateaus keep getting higher and higher despite a massive selling downtrend. This is very unusual divergent behavior for any stock. So there's huge accumulation happening, possibly for hostile takeover. Not sure, but we can speculate that there might be another accumulation phase on this one coming up soon. And since we are out of this downtrend here, we've been consolidating for a while, and it had a peak up here at around 750. IRNT, we'd be looking for it to break through resistance at $7 and make another attempt to go see $17 or $18 at some point in the future. That would be a pretty long-term play. I would not be doing anything less than quarterly calls myself. I've got some May 20s for $5 strike, $6 strike. Let's see what else we have. Oh, BBIG. BBIG is showing some nice strength. It's establishing some higher lows on the 5-minute chart. It's been moving up very nicely, and it's consolidating here at resistance right around $4.25. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place an alert on this one because I've been waiting for BBIG to break up past this. There's a Fibonacci level up here somewhere. Yeah, it's all the way up at 310. Okay. So we'll go ahead and leave that for ourselves in the future. I will go ahead and take a quick look back on the 30-minute chart just to prove a little bit more of our trading thesis here. I'm looking at BBIG has broken several downtrends in the past. This one, I need to take away the after hours. We're only going to pay attention to the main one. There we go. Just want to look at this chart right here. We notice we have a very big wedge. I need to go clean some of these up. I'm losing my train of thought with how many lines are just making a mess of this chart. Okay. So yes, been in a downward channel with BBIG all the way since it had its big run up to $12, and now that we've basically established a floor here at $2, we can get rid of this. At the moment, BBIG is so oversold, and each time that BBIG touched this $2 range, it had a squeeze of some kind. It was never like particularly huge, but it never likes this $2. It never wants to stay there. So hence I'm pretty bullish in the near term for BBIG. I would be looking at $3 for either May or June. May, June, or July. I'm a fan of buying more theta, so that's just my personal thoughts on that. And also, Cryptide being announced. Maybe if they can pull in some profits or release some good news, then
whoa. GameStop is bouncing back real fast. Fitzy just posted they are looking to launch their NFT marketplace by July 31st, 2022.
Wow.
And it is moving.
Congratulations, GameStop.
That big dump was a bunch of tomfoolery.
What a load of garbage. I don't have the capital to make a dent in GME. I'm not gonna add to this position. Good luck, everybody else.
Whee!
Gotta pay respects to the original meme stock. You just have to.
The OG.
Okay. I'm getting a lot of questions on different plays. Let me cover the rest, guys, and then I'll go run back up through chat. I'll try to get to as many as I can, but I am limited on time. Ugh. Okay. Progenity. Progenity's got some excellent news coming. Their signature appeared on another filing elsewhere. Actually, this was pointed out to me by Ecom47, who's a member of the Discord, and he's been chatting on he's been chatting with everybody back and forth in the Discord, doing various DD on the Progenity filings or any filings that Progenity appears on. And their signature, their CFO's signature, appeared in a CTI Biopharma Corp 8K filing, which was interesting. It's just for whatever reason, Progenity's signature just it showed up at the bottom of this 8K filing, and nobody really knows why. There's several exhibits in the filings that refer to. Oh, let me go ahead and switch my stream really quickly. Show you guys what I'm actually looking at. So this is a Form 8K filing, which is basically just an announcement of some fundamental change in a company. This was for CTI Biopharma Corp, and as I said, David Kursk, who is the chief financial officer of Progenity Inc., his name appeared as a signature on this 8K filing, which was interesting. There are several exhibits here between CTI Biopharma and James K. Fung. And I'm wondering if this is. I'm thinking that this may have something to do with maybe well, it's a severance package of some kind, but I've been getting asked to look into this. I haven't found anything. Well, honestly, I haven't had a chance to really dig into it. But it seems like James Fung is no longer working at CTI Biopharma Corp. Senior Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer reporting to Bruce Seeley, Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer. Effective date of promotion is today, March 1st. Discretionary target bonus rate is 40%. Interesting. Well, I won't distract too much more on this one. Truth be told, I don't know why Progenity's name appeared in that filing. Whoops, I think I exited my stream completely. Kat, can you double check that it's showing back up for you? Okay, thanks. As far as the technicals on Progenity, we have had 4 bounces off of this $1 fib level. Honestly, it's just the base support level that I had set. Now that we have proven the support here at $1, I'm pretty confident saying that Progenity is going to not break through it. And I don't see any potential dilutions in the near future for Progenity. So as far as entry points, I don't think there's an area much lower than this that you would think about making an entry. I'm sticking to buying shares and leaps on Progenity. There's really not much of a squeeze play here. Some people think that there is still a squeeze play. It's not really the case. There's a little bit of short interest in it, but the short exempts aren't particularly excessive right now. There's not a whole lot of volatility. As you can see, the volume's been pretty flat. And the stock's OBV, despite demonstrating that hellish divergence that we talk about, it still has kind of curved downward a little bit. So I'd be looking for the OBV to start lifting before I get too excited. But in the meanwhile, I'll just keep using, my paycheck to keep accumulating some more shares and leaps and averaging down my position. For me, this one's just kind of a fundamental long play, not really a squeeze play. But I do think that in the short term, Progenity could see $2 or even $3 if it's able to break out of this this downtrend, which it seems to be looking to do sooner rather than later.
Maybe it'll give us some St. Patty's Day magic. Be our little leprechaun giving us our pot of gold.
Yeah, maybe so. So this is kind of what I'm looking at. If there's anybody in here that's in True Trading Group, you might recognize the triangle that was kind of made just sort of by accident with this fib extension, but it works out to end up looking like a triangle. So if we get some volume here on Progenity, hopefully around earnings, there is a expectation that they are going to be disclosing their precludia numbers around earnings, and there was also a patent release as well. So big fundamental change for Progenity is that there was a patent notification. I found out about this courtesy of Opti Financial, who you can look up at Opti News on Twitter. He's been covering Progenity for a long time. big on biopharma plays. I really like the guy. He does excellent work and research, and really have appreciated getting his opinion and also getting to see his releases and updates on Progenity lately. For me, I'm mainly covering the technicals just to help interpret the results. But as far as the technicals do go, Progenity is looking really nice, very strong. It's got a strong area of support after 4 tests and bounces off of this $1 level. I'm feeling really confident. I have doubled down on my position. I have added more calls, which are primarily quarterlies and leaps, as well as a small number of shares. So those are not expiring for many months. Some are not expiring until January of 2024. I'm looking for Progenity to overtake all of its competition in its very niche space, and for them to finally make their big, bold, beautiful entry into the world of preeclampsia rule-out tests, which is an untapped market worth $3 billion estimated, as well as their OBDS, which is their oral biotherapeutics device, the super smart pill that you swallow and it's able to directly administer what would otherwise be an intravenously delivered drug. Some of those include Humira or tofacitinib, which are for the treatment of autoimmune disorders, specifically Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Humira being the most profitable drug in the world, and tofacitinib being one of Pfizer's excellent, like, I think it's a class 3 drug. But that's about it. If you are waiting for some confirmation, I would just wait for this breakout here, somewhere above the area of $1.50. Or if you don't want to wait and you want to predict the move, $1.50 calls for May are really cheap right now, so something to consider. That's kind of what I'm playing. Is anywhere from $1.50 to $3 is fair game. Although obviously you're getting riskier and riskier the further out you go. Yep, that's about it. Senseonics is made a nice bounce. This is another long biopharma play. This one's more in the space of diabetic treatment. They've kind of been in a trading range for quite a while, so looking for it to break out above. Wolves place the resistance at 190.
I have to look at what time that GameStop earnings call actually is taking place. Does anybody know if Ryan's speaking?
Wasn't that already happening? Didn't it happen like right after the closing bell?
I don't know if they've had the call yet. I think they may have had just the announcements of some things following.
Oh, they just did the
call
did the press release. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's at 5. All right.
Okay. Well, that's good to see. Very cool. Okay. So, Senseonics is way oversold. If you're not familiar with this play, you can check out some of my other DD on this one. I actually have a playlist just for Senseonics due diligence. Feel free to take a look at that. I don't want to. I would explain it here, but I don't want to bore people who have heard it 1,000 times before. My DD has been well documented. It's on Reddit, and you can check out my previous posts on Wall Street Bets New and some of my past videos on it. The big sell off here was a huge rug pull that honestly caught everybody by surprise. Somebody really wanted to punish retail for being involved in this stock, and there's somebody in pharma that does not want Senseonics to be a success. They hammered this thing on purpose. and they've been holding it down ever since. But fundamentally, I think that this is a really good company. I'm pretty upset with this. Of course, people will just tell me I'm an emotional bag holder, but whatever. That's their call. I don't have a problem with being an emotional bag holder, especially when the company that I'm invested in is trying to save lives. But I digress.
I think everybody just said "I digress" in their head.
Maps is another squeeze play that we're currently looking at. Oh wait, no, not a squeeze play. Just Scourgebot call out. Another one that Scourge called out is ALZN, which fair warning, this is also a stock that's being held by some of our persons of interest. Mr. Milton has been involved in this stock, and you can see that we had a huge volume pop and then a big sell-off after hours. So this activity is curious. It's curious, very interesting. I'll be looking to I'll be looking to probably average down my position and possibly add to some more calls now that I have a little bit more dry powder. And I'm going to double check Scourgebot, which may offer some additional insight on this one. ALZM was called out because of Divergence. Let's see.
Oh man, GameStop's already retraced 61% and gaining fast.
Wow.
Wow, that is a perfect example of some of the games that have been being played with earnings over the last year. But this is the most egregious and the most obvious when they probably smashed that sell button before the earnings numbers actually even came out.
That was somebody that was expecting it to be bad, and they wanted to scare people into thinking that they knew something. But,
well, I mean, so the best name in our Discord, Sir Smell My Finger, had pointed out that there was a very large amount of puts purchased right before close.
Oh, really? Interesting. So they were trying to tell a story.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I don't know why, but Mullen's giving me tingly feelings right now.
Yeah.
Look at the
it's just
downward
acting
channel.
a little weird, but like it got a weird pop of volume, and it had this like really dramatic, violent volume or candle for a minute, and then it kind of stopped, and now it's just been a little bit of uptrend. I feel like maybe might have a little some action. I don't know why.
I'm going to post something in the live stream chat.
Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what I will do. Mullen is showing some strength, but a lot of these lines are outdated now. So let me go ahead and get rid of these. I'm more interested in this trend right here, and I'm expecting for there to be some kind of a bounce, because right here, yeah. So Mullen going into tomorrow, bullish, it would bounce off of the top of this this previous ascending resistance, which would be a bullish sign that resistance has now become support, and I could think about making another entry at 220, but I do expect a sell-off. I expect them to try to really punish the price and push it down and force those 250s for this Friday to expire out the money. I hope I'm wrong. But in case I am right, I'm going to go ahead and reset my. I'm going to go ahead and reset some limit buys at $2, and I'll see if I can acquire some more. I'll see if I can reacquire some of those April 14 calls for 250 again at this lower price. It's been ripping like crazy. I've still got some calls. I made sure to leave myself with some skin in the game because I do want to be a part of this, whether I'm right or wrong about this sell-off potentially happening tomorrow. But I do feel like the market maker is going to really try to hammer it. So that's why I'm trying to be conservative and play this smart so that I don't get washed out of my trades. But I'm also trying to make sure that everybody understands that my convictions are still very strong in this stock. And I think that this squeeze is very much underway. It's just a matter of whether it's going to be. It's a matter of whether it gets kicked off by the gamma this Friday, or if the movement gets shifted over out to April, and all of those calls get bought up for April and shift the gamma squeeze out till that point. Which that might be the case. That's what happened with SPRT, for example. Like SPRT, everybody thought that it was going to squeeze August 20th because it was running in the money, like a whole bunch of calls were running in the money, and then market makers smacked it right there at the end, and it sold off big time and went on SSR on Friday. A whole bunch of calls did still end up in the money, but then the very following Monday, Tuesday is when SPRT started running again, and then by that Friday, it closed. It had, I think it was actually Wednesday or Thursday. It went all the way up to its high of $59. I'm not saying that that's like anything like what Mullen is about to do. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just kind of describing like another situation that's at least similar where a big gamma squeeze is involved and a market maker gets involved. Is they can play some games and they can try to force these options to expire out the money. So I'm playing with that expectation that they're going to force that. What was that, J. Ruff?
Things are very precarious.
Yeah.
It's on a knife edge, folks.
Yeah. I think things are a little bit precarious. But we're winning. Like we're very clearly winning. This thing is moving with retail has a lot of control at the moment just because people have been continuously buying up more and more shares. That's what's important.
It's incredible. You think about it this way. I mean, look at the spot that we're in now. Normally, a run up with a stock that might have had some technicals, but is not necessarily all over the media. They'd bring it up in after hours, gather up some shares to maybe dump it in the open and scare people loose. With the attention that Mullen's got right now, they run a very big risk of, if they even try to do that, people are going to be like, it's going to move. I'm going to jump in, and any downward pressure they bring in the morning might get washed out. It might not. It's so important that we don't get too caught up on looking at technicals, and we understand where the market is, where this particular play is, where the social sentiment is. And I think this is one of the things that the community and that you do such a good job of pointing out is, here's the whole picture.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate that. The one thing that I really don't want to happen is for people to have their expectations just dashed by the reality of the fact that market makers have a lot more control than we give them credit for. And maybe they have exactly as much control as we give them credit for, and we do have our expectations set, but somehow we think that we're like, this time it's going to be different, and you don't try to fool yourself into thinking that that this time it can just be different. Retail as a whole has to get more educated on how these plays happen and why they happen this way. And the more retailers that are actually educated in how and why these stocks move in the way that they do, the more of them that will end up victorious and taking out like those 80, 90, 100% gains consistently, and not trying to top tick things and just banking on hope and hope alone that the squeeze is happening right now. Like, yes, this is an excellent sign what Mullen is doing right now. This is beautiful. It's currently in a bear channel or an ascending channel, that is a bearish channel, but it's only right at the very beginning of it, and we're still in the middle of it. But we have to recognize that market makers are going to try and do things like make this look like a head and shoulders. They're probably going to try to do that, so they'll sell it off first thing at the bell after it creates this new shoulder at what, like 240, 250, and they'll try and hit it again. That's just what they do. Like they'll try to force these technical patterns and try to draw these things out so that it looks bearish. And it's not so much as like seeing negativity so much as it is seeing what the market maker wants people to see and knowing when the trend is against you and reacting to that possibility, hedging your risk and continuously gaining more and more powder and keep getting more and more shares and keep acquiring and accumulating. And eventually you do that enough and you will have greater success as an individual. And what our goal at Hell's Trading Floor is so that everybody can be just as successful. And we don't see these terrible stories of people who like took a YOLO bet on Wall Street bets and, threw their mortgage down on some deep out the money calls saying like YOLO to the moon. Like, just don't do that. Be smart. Learn how this stuff works so that you can actually be consistently profitable. Maybe one day we will get to a point where, retail will become the market and retail will have control of the market like the way that it was supposed to work. That's how the stock market was supposed to work, is that the actual traders, and fair market value dictated the value of stocks and companies. And it's just not so anymore. But it would be good to get back to that. And that's going to require some education and some a little bit of clever negotiating of these different stock plays. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here with ALZN. As I mentioned, ALZN is starting to show some really interesting signs of volatility. And I'm thinking that, and we just saw another instance of Divergence yesterday. So I'm expecting, based on the increase in volume today, that there's going to be a massive amount of short exempts. I will update people on Twitter when the new FINRA numbers come out. They'll probably be coming out in the next hour or so. It usually takes until about 5:30 p.m. Eastern time before those numbers update. So I'll let everybody know when I see all that FINRA data come out. I'll give everybody an update on ALZN and let everyone know if we've got another event from ScourgeBot. But we've had multiple Divergence signals in the past trading month. So it's all looking really good for this play. And as you can see, it retested that 115 level. And now it's establishing some higher lows. Let me get this out of the way. I feel like I'm losing my voice. I haven't even done any videos or streams this at all this week.
Dude,
I feel like I'm losing my voice.
I sound like a chain smoking ant from the 1950s. Hey, doll, how you doing?
Oh my God.
It's Marge. Oh man, it's the ants from The Simpsons. That's what it is.
Actually, it wasn't even 30 days, was it? Oh no, it was 30 days. We had the first one on was it February 24th? I need to go back and take a look at the past dates. Oh, whoops. What were the previous ones? I know that we had them. There were several of them. I had the vertical lines on this chart before. Now they've gotten deleted somehow. Give me a few seconds and I'll put them back up here. I want to say it was February 16th and another one was on February 20th. Okay. Yep, February 16th, February 24th, and we had another one on the 14th. And we had one yesterday. So these markers are getting closer and closer together. These volatility periods for ALZN getting very close together. This is also a micro float stock, which is worth mentioning as well. If we go back down here, not sure if I got this up here, if you can see it, but it's 38.63 million share float. This is a really small float. So ALZN can absolutely move rapidly. This is a stock that is, I think I mentioned this a minute ago, but this is one that's being played by Alt Global Holdings. This is an institution that's also a big purchaser of Mullen, possibly looking to make a acquisition of the company. But in any case, whatever the reasons might be, this stock is starting to show some volatility in the same ways that Mullen was. So I'm looking for this one to make a big move and for market makers to over leverage themselves. It looks like earnings were pretty standard. There was no surprise in either direction, so that's actually okay. No news is good news. But yeah, we'll see what this company does. I have already made a significant acquisition of calls on for the 20th of May. Most of those are set for I believe it was the 250 strike. Yeah, 250 strike, May 20th calls. I've got a pretty sizable position. They're really cheap. They're like 10 cents on the ask. So really, really cheap calls. And I think that's about it. If you want to check out some more of the plays that we're working on at Hell's Trading Floor, we have a lot of stuff going on with oil. As you can see, oil moved pretty much across the board today. I know a lot of people were pretty happy about that. Mullen, if you were here from the beginning when we got in, we entered at like 65 cents when Mullen was literally at the bottom of the barrel. We got in at almost bottom ticked the stock. And we've got other plays going, such as IDEX, DKNG, BKKT, and a handful of other big squeeze play. A lot of good things happening now that are finally coming to fruition. A lot of plays turning in our favor. So we'll be looking forward to seeing what happens tomorrow.
Just whatever you do, don't join Hell's Trading Floor. It's a mess in there. Everybody's really mean. They are a bunch of fuddy-duddies and don't give anything but great advice. Oh, wait a second. That's what we want. Great advice. Okay. Well, if in that case you would like to come hang out with us on the regular, we will be posting our link in the chat here, and we'd love to see you.
Thanks very much, Rob. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining the stream. I'm going to play a quick ad here for the close, but don't feel obligated to watch. Just if you want to help us out with a little bit of attention and make the YouTube algorithm happy. Also, feel free to like, Share this video with your friends on social media, and subscribe if you want to see some more stuff from us. And consider joining us at Hell's Trading Floor at https://discord.gg/Hell's Trading Floor. Thanks very much, guys, and I hope you had a hell of a time in the markets.